Hello everyone, my name is Guntrum and I'm a PhD student at the Technical University of Darmstadt in Germany. I'm part of the research group called PSEC, a short term for Science and Technology for Peace and Security. Today I'm going to talk about the use of ICT by activists in times of the military coup in Myanmar that took place in February 2021. In order to better understand the context, I will give you a short overview. Myanmar is the second largest country in Southeast Asia with a long history of colonialism, war and protests. Since February 1, 2021, citizens in Myanmar have used ICTs to protest the military coup. Unlike previous protests, ICT played an essential role in disseminating information internationally, albeit hindered by censorship and internet shutdown. In general, the country is often called an internet success story because the internet penetration rate increased so rapidly within the last 3 years. However, Myanmar faced one of the earliest government-imposed internet shutdowns and now ranks poorly in terms of internet freedom. To date, little research on ICT-enabled activism has been done in Southeast Asia, including Myanmar. The paper aims to answer the following 3 research questions. First, how are ICTs used by protesters as a resource for mobilizing protests in the anti-military movement in Myanmar in 2021? Second, I want to analyze what opportunities and challenges activists encounter and how they deal with them. Finally, I aim to understand what technical requirements are identified by activists in times of protest. Throughout the study, extensive consideration was given to research ethics. As qualitative interviews with activists offer the possibility to gain deeper insights into the perspectives and individual strategies of the interviews, an empirical qualitative research design was chosen. Overall, 16 interviews were conducted between February and May 2021. As I do not speak the languages of Myanmar, an online survey in Burmese was circulated and 34 participants took part. For data analysis, a qualitative content analysis is used. In the following, I will present some empirical findings to give you an initial overview. In recent years, the significance of social media and messenger apps has grown substantially among almost all study participants. Social media provide avenues for organizing large gatherings, disseminating security instructions, and exerting pressure on military authorities. Most interviews emphasize that posting on social media is essential to raise awareness of what is happening in Myanmar, and that international actors can then take proper actions of support. One concrete example illustrating the connections between analog and digital activities include the social punishment movement and the boycott campaign, which identify both individuals and products affiliated with the military. To identify products and services linked to the military, individuals have developed 2 applications, such as Blacklist Myanmar, that offer listings that reveal connections to the military. Another important aspect is the rise of misinformation and fake news, which has been particularly evident since the coup. In general, activists in Myanmar find themselves operating in a restrictive online environment due to censorship, whitelisting, internet shutdowns, and the introduction of a new cybersecurity law that prohibits the use of VPN, for example. Aspects like surveillance and mobile device inspection highlight that social media does not yield solely positive effects. Since the coup, people are increasingly afraid of military controls and hacking attacks. Since Facebook is the predominant platform, individuals' Facebook accounts are primarily examined to ascertain whether the activists post anti-military and pro-protest related content. Looking at the 3rd research question, some concrete technical requirements were mentioned. Numerous study participants said that they would like to see more options for anonymization. Activists suggest strategies including a fast Facebook account deactivation for arrested individuals through a single comment or report, countering potential delays in reporting. Rapid actions are crucial, ensuring that confidential information and contacts are not misused by the military. To better protect anonymity, it was stated that it would be helpful not to register with one's own private number and to use nicknames more often instead of providing one's real name. Generally, I think it's crucial to highlight that security and context-specific recommendation should be understood as suggestions derived from the empirical findings, and existing literature should not be considered universally applicable, as context vary greatly. I underscore the complexity of delivering security recommendations for activists and recognize that my external perspective may not fully capture the nuances of the cultural context in which activists operate. Given the time constraint now and the complexity of making context-specific recommendation, I encourage you to read the paper for more information. This brings me to the end of my talk. I would like to thank the study participants for sharing their stories and you for listening.